Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I took my old camera with the broken screen that had completely gone black and I shook it really, really hard. That's how I fix things. But I tried really hard to fix it other ways. I don't want to talk about the camera. I want to talk about crocheting. But just to let you know that right now I have my old camera. I still have to have the screen sideways, and it was only upside down. I couldn't do anything about it, but it just actually flipped right side up, so I can see myself a little bit. And I want to talk to you about crocheting. I've been in the mood to crochet for quite a while now, and there's a couple of things that stop me. I don't really have a good place to crochet in this apartment. If Joe's in bed, I can crochet on the chair. We have one chair that we share. It's just, I don't know, it's just not comfortable. It's not bright enough. I have to move a light over to me. I like to crochet in lightness. And I do have the option to crochet at AA meetings, but I can't bring something big to make, like an Afghan, because I'm not going to have that on my lap. So I'm just trying to figure out different things that I can do. I do think that I might be able to do some crocheting here. I do. My screen flickered. Don't scare me like that, screen. I have a rocking chair here that's kind of low, but I have lights next to it. So that might work. I could show you and then sit and crochet and then show you. One of the things I want to do are all these weird Afghans that people are making on TikTok. I don't know about anywhere else, but I see it on TikTok, like the Chaos Afghan, where you pick different stitches just randomly out of a bowl, or how many rows. So you can roll a die or pick a number, 1 to 6 or whatever, and then you even pick the color randomly. I would love to do that. But that would take a better camera where I can show you the stitches. Or I can use some of my not yet 100 crochet stitches and say, we'll be doing stitch number whatever, and then you could go learn the stitch that way. But I would still want to show you, how to just start it and stop it. That's very complicated. We're not doing that one first. The other one is just moss stitch, and I love moss stitch. And it's one row at a time of a different color. Now in that case, you just take yarn, and a lot of people will cut a piece, and I don't know, put it like in a clear straw or whatever, and then you just pick a straw. I might just put 2 pieces of Scotch tape, and I could see the color and put the number or whatever of the color, and it's just, that sounds like fun. And then you pick a color, and then you do a row in that color. And most people just will say, if I pick the same color again, then I will pick again. They just don't want 2 rows of the same color. One person said she was keeping each of the first 4 out, so there would not be a repeat until the 5th row possibly. And so when her 5th piece would come out, she would put the first piece back in the bucket. Anybody can do whatever they want. I like that, but then we have a lot of ends. When you're doing 1 row at a time, you have a lot of ends. I'd love to think of a clever way to do something with the ends other than just the tassel, but the tassel, that's okay. That's okay too. I would love to do one of those. Then the other choice is moss stitch. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I like to do some Afghans, all just the good side facing. So you're always just on the right side and you're just going like this. And then the next row, you don't turn the Afghan. The next row, you start here again and you go like this. I really like that too. And again, moss stitch is great for that. You can even do single crochet, double crochet, anything you want. And I love the idea of random colors. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, and then the other thing is I have been, and I've already used, okay, this is like the little bag that goes in my big bag that I bring to AA. It's just all little balls of different colors. They're all 4-ply, but some are big twists, some are red hearts, some are mainstays, and there's different feels and things like that. But then I am famous for, like, when I'm crocheting and, you know, if I get to the end of a scrap, I want to keep that scrap. And then I just got into the habit of, like, cutting some, and I was tying those together. And there's a million ways to tie knots, and I'm telling you, even the best of the knots can come apart in the wash. But I'm trying to do some, like, monster knots. They're kind of thick and you can feel them, and they'll stick out, but I do not want to be tying tons and tons of ends. I mean, weaving ends in. I have no interest in that. So I decided I would play with the moss stitch, and with my, I didn't finish today, I was making an edge around this piece. So it's all pieces just tied together. Some could be maybe 3 feet long, some could be 8 inches. I'll just tie them together. And I was looking for a stitch that made the colors almost look like individual little colors, pieces of color. I'm loving this so much. And I ended up doing the moss stitch, and for the sake of not having all the ends hanging, I'm doing back and forth moss stitch. And I made a strip just to see if I liked it, and then I was like, what am I going to do with that strip? I was prepared to take it all apart and put it into a project, you know, use that up. But here's what I ended up deciding. First of all, look at the actual piece. I love it. To me, it just looks like some old woven kind of fabric or something. I love the fact that that I'm getting used to the knots. I'm falling in love with the knots because I have to. I don't know if you just heard Joe sneeze. And I don't care. I was trying to keep the knots like all on one side, you know, so you can take it apart and then maybe make a more loose stitch or a tighter stitch to get the knot to land. Not doing that. There's so many knots in this. So I'm just embracing the knots, and I'm embracing when a stitch, you know, kind of like splits, like this black one here. You know what I mean? You see the gray in between. I don't care anymore. So I thought, what can I do with this though? I can make a scrappy Afghan. So I started going around, and I didn't do my slip stitch thing. I'm just doing crochet around it. And again, if you want me to do a series like this, I could show you. I could tell you like what size my piece is, but that would be very hard to match because you don't want to be worried about coming out with the same exact size. But I can, you know, show you again how to do a scrappy patchwork kind of Afghan. So I would finish this, and then I might do another piece like square, and it will be joined. I will do the same kind of puzzle stuff like I do with the mystery quilt block. And like say I put a big square here, I'll show you how to count to know about what you need for a size, because you have to remember that when you do the edging, that adds to it. That might be a little hard to teach. I mean, I don't want to be doing something where I have to be thinking a lot, but I have taught that before, but it was with the slip stitch edging and then single crochet. I'd be willing to do that again. So it's just, you can just make pieces. Now, I love this for the meetings or doctor offices because I'm only making pieces. I'm not like carrying something big around. And that's what I worked on today. I finished this. I just said that's long enough. My tension was a little off, and this is just moss stitch back and forth, but I show you a way that it's a 1-row repeat. Moss stitch, most of the time, it's a 2-row repeat. But making smaller pieces and putting them down, I don't want to come back and say, oh, now which way am I starting? I mean, if you understand crocheting, you would know that with moss stitch, you're chaining, you're doing a single crochet in under a chain, a space, and then you're chaining one and skipping over a single crochet. But I have a very easy way to do it, so you just do the same thing every row. And I know my tension, and not only that, some of my yarn, even though it's 4-ply, it is thinner. Big Twist is thinner. I don't care. I don't care about any of that. So let me know if you like this, because now I am all out of pieces that I cut and kept, so I'm actually cutting strands of different colors. After I said all that, this is what I want to start with, continue with, and I'm only going to make something small. It's not good for pets because their claws, their nails can get caught. But it would be maybe nice for a doll, or even a very small little lap blanket for in the car, or maybe somebody would just crochet a plain backing and make a pillow. I just know that I don't want to make something really big, and I do not want to keep it because I have to stop keeping things. So it would have to go up for grabs on eBay. And since these things are a little bit pricier for shipping, I don't know. I mean, I have not always in 26 years offered free shipping. So I might put it up for auction, but with a little bit of a higher starting bid, just to make sure. I'd like to cover my shipping and maybe a little bit for the yarn. We'll wait and see how I do that later. So this is what I'm going to complete. And I'm very anxious to start the next one. Oh yeah, so to make it interesting for me, I was thinking of, I held that up like way too long. I was thinking of just cutting various strands of yarn and putting them all like in a bag or something, and then just reaching in and pulling out one strand, and that would be the next strand that I tie. But do I want to tie knots every single time? I rather tie a whole bunch of knots and ball it up. And then I wouldn't have to be tying knots at AA. So maybe we can do a video, and I've got so many. Oh, and the thing is at first I wanted the project to be like all the same yarn. Now I did order a bunch of mainstay, a bunch. I got some, and some is on the way, but I have a lot of scraps, a lot of little, scrappy balls, and I want to use those, and I don't care if they're the same brand. I want to use the scraps. It doesn't, show with the moss stitch, so I just love it. And I think that maybe one video I could do the cutting and tying the knots and just chatting with you. I could do that. And then I would have, the ball of scrap yarn ready to just use. So let me just finish this, and I'll be right back. All of a sudden, I'm upside down now in the screen. I didn't move anything. This is what I have, and I like it very much. I picked this because I have more of it like this than I have this. And you can see how messy all of this is. I have yarn everywhere in this room. I'm hoping that if I were to use only this, and like I said, I could make something that's just a small project. It could be all just the gold. I kind of like the gold. I'm a black or white girl, but I have scraps of black, and I didn't have it with me at the AA meeting, and I wanted to start the edge. I think this color gold kind of goes good with all these colors. I'm going with that. And I should have enough. It's going to be a small project. The other option would be that I could do the crochet border, every piece in a different color. There's a lot of colors in here, so that would work too. But I think I'm going to go with the gold for this one. I don't know, I might change my mind. I'm going to start working on another one. Now, I'm not going to do my yarn cut strands of yarn. I don't know. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to get this video up. I just wanted to talk to you about it. I will be putting some together so that I can work on this. I'll come back maybe in a few days, and then maybe I can show you the strands of yarn that I cut. And I have more colors than what I have in this little bag. A lot more colors. So I want to get as many colors in as possible. I think I'm going to really like this. I enjoyed this totally. And I will, at some point, I'm hoping, like when I have a better setup, I will show you the moss stitch again, how I do it. I will show you how to do the crochet, the single crochet border, and how to just not worry about where you're sticking your hook. It's more important that you just say, okay, I have 20 on this side. I'm going to make 20 on that side. You just make it work. And then, you know, I'll teach you how to make a puzzle, not my puzzle, because that would be impossible. It's not like fabric that I can tell you what size and that you could easily cut it. But I'll just show you how to put things together. You're going to have fun with it, I think. And I'll show you again how I do my invisible join. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it like me. I don't think so. I'm sure somebody has, but I don't see it that way. And it's just one little tiny step that I do differently that makes it so you would never know where I started and stopped on the gold border. You would never know. You'd never be able to know. Maybe from the back side you might. I don't think you would in the back side either. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please go follow me on Facebook, because I might do some little updates on Facebook to show my progress, or I'm doing a lot on Facebook now, and you'll be missing things if you're not following me there or friending me. I have some friend space. Can only have up to 5,000 friends on a profile, and I play with some. I know I have probably 4,990 right now, so there's maybe 10 spaces. But if you can't get in as a friend, I will friend you back. If you friend me, I will friend you back. If there's no room, then you can follow me. And Rocket has some little posts. He lets you know how his life is, where he's going, where he has been, what he ate, all those things. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Oh, and you can find my Facebook link in the description of this video. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.